Have you ever felt like the people closest to you are the ones who hurt you the most? That's how Joseph felt in the Bible. He was the favorite son, but his brothers hated him for it. God gave him dreams that one day he'd rise above them. But instead of celebrating him, they threw him in a pit and sold him as a slave. Imagine being betrayed by your own blood. But even in that pit, God had a plan. What looked like rejection was actually direction. God was setting Joseph up for something far greater than he could see. Have you been betrayed? Jesus knows your pain. Ever feel like you're trapped? Like no matter what you do, something keeps you stuck. Maybe it's fear, addiction, shame, your past. Joseph in the Bible was in bondage in Egypt. But even there, God was with him. Everything he did succeeded because God's favor rested on Joseph. Potiphar saw it and put Joseph over his entire house. It didn't matter that Joseph was in a foreign land. God's presence made him free. Do you feel bound by something? Jesus can set you free from the inside out. Have you ever been tempted when no one's watching? In the Bible, we find the story of Joseph. Joseph was handsome, and Potiphar's wife noticed him. She tried to pull him in to seduce him, but Joseph said, "How could I do this and sin against God?" When she grabbed him, he ran, leaving his coat behind. Because Joseph chose purity, he was falsely accused and thrown into prison. But Joseph still trusted God. Doing the right thing might cost you now, but it pays off later. Are you fighting temptation? Jesus can give you strength to stand firm. Have you ever helped someone and they just forgot about you? That's what happened to Joseph in the book of Genesis. He interpreted dreams for two prisoners, that one would live, the other would die. His only request to the man who lived was, "Remember me." But when the man was released from prison, he forgot Joseph completely. But still, Joseph kept trusting God. Even when he was behind bars, God was working behind the scenes. You may feel stuck, unseen, forgotten today, but heaven has not forgotten you. Do you feel overlooked? Jesus remembers you and he knows your name. After years of being forgotten, everything changed in a single day. One morning, Joseph woke up in chains. By evening time, he was standing before Pharaoh himself. Pharaoh had a dream no one could explain, and Joseph said, "It is not in me, but God will give Pharaoh the answer he desires." In one moment, God gave Joseph the interpretation that there'd be 7 years of plenty followed by 7 years of famine. And Pharaoh was so moved that he made Joseph ruler over all Egypt, second only to him. That's how fast God can move, from the lowest place to the highest in just one day. Have you been waiting a long time for God to move? Don't give up. Your turnaround could be closer than you think. Have you ever had a dream that felt so far away it almost seemed impossible? Joseph had those dreams when he was just a teenager. Dreams that one day his brothers would bow before him. Years and years passed. It must have felt like those dreams had died. But then it happened. A famine swept the land, and his brothers came to Egypt searching for food. They bowed down before Joseph, just like God had shown Joseph in the vision years before. God had been working through every pit, every prison, every heartbreak to bring his promise to life. Maybe your dream feels dead, but God hasn't forgotten what he spoke. His timing is perfect, and his word never fails. Do you have a dream that feels lost? Jesus can resurrect what has been buried. Are you still haunted by your past? In the Bible, there's a story of Joseph. After years of living in blessing and power, Joseph's past came walking right back into his life. The same brothers who once sold Joseph into slavery were now standing in front of him, begging for food. They didn't recognize him, but he knew exactly who they were. Joseph tested them to see if their hearts had changed, and they had. The same brother who once sold Joseph was now willing to give up his own life to save the other brothers. Sometimes God lets you face your past, not to reopen old wounds, but to show you how far His grace has brought you. Could you forgive the ones who ruined your life? In the Bible, we find the story of Joseph, and he did that when he met the brothers who had once betrayed him. He couldn't hold back his tears any longer, and he told his brothers, "I am Joseph." These were the same brothers who had thrown him into a pit, sold him into slavery, but now they stood trembling before him. But instead of punishing them, Joseph forgave them. He said, "God sent me ahead of you to save lives." You see, that's the power of forgiveness, turning pain into purpose. That's what Jesus did for us. We sinned against him, yet he gave up his own life to offer us forgiveness. Is forgiveness hard for you? Jesus can set your heart free today. Can God really restore what has been lost? Let me tell you about Joseph in the Bible. After many years of slavery, captivity, and separation from his family, Joseph finally saw his father again. Years of pain turned into tears of joy. The family that had once fell apart was whole again. God brought restoration out of heartbreak. That's who God is. He's the God who restores. He can take sin and sorrow and what it destroyed and make it new again. Do you need restoration in your life? Jesus can give you restoration. Have you ever messed up so badly that you thought God could never use you again? That's what happened to Joseph in the Bible. Joseph looked back at how God had protected him in the midst of hardship, and he told his brothers, "You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good." That's what God does. He takes the things meant to destroy you, even your own mistakes, and then God turns them into miracles. Your failure does not cancel your calling. God uses broken people to bring healing to others. Have you made mistakes? God can turn them into miracles. If you want Jesus to transform your story, then watch this video I tagged below and make sure you subscribe to this channel.